Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Rachel Ciula. I am a senior associate with Pyxis Partners. We are the primary engagement awardee for the All of Us Research Program. And today you'll learn a little bit more about the All of Us Research Program, as well as opportunities to get involved in the research arm. So the All of Us Research Program is a historic longitudinal effort to gather data from 1 million or more people living in the United States to accelerate research and improve health. By taking into account individual differences in lifestyle, socioeconomics, environment, and biology, we hope that researchers one day will utilize the data to uncover paths towards delivering precision medicine or individualized prevention, treatment, and care for all of us. And with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic to my colleague, Meredith, also Senior Associate at Pyxis Partners, who oversees the Research Scholars Program and can tell us a bit more about that today. Meredith.
Thanks, Rachel. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. As Rachel mentioned, I'm a senior associate at Pyxis Partners. I work a lot on researcher engagement, and one of those is the Research Scholar Program, which I'm excited to kind of share about that opportunity with you all today. But before we hop into that, just wanted to kind of provide a quick overview of what All of Us Research Program is about and kind of what Pyxis and AHEC Western Washington does to support those efforts around engagement, outreach, recruitment, and retention. So today, focused on the Research Scholar Program. So I kind of want to provide an overview of what the program is, give you a look back at what our 2023 cohort looks like, and then what the cohort will look like moving forward. So the Research Scholar Program is an annual 8-month-long program. So Rachel just provided a quick overview of what All of Us in general is when it comes to participants enrolling in the program. The other part of that is what is the All of Us Research Hub. So that is where once participants enroll in the program and provide information, all of their information is de-identified and then is made available for researchers. So there's two components of the All of Us Research Hub. That includes what is a public data browser where anyone can go and look at certain pieces of information about the data. It's not everything. So people can't, link data back to certain participants. And then the other part is the Researcher's Workbench, where you have to go through additional steps to get access to the data to do more in-depth analysis. So the public data browser is already aggregated data. So it's more just kind of statistical information you can kind of look at a broad overview, whereas the workbench is where you can do more aggregated data. And so what the All of Us Research Scholar Program is this annual 8-month-long program where mentors and students work on a research project. So each mentor has 2 students. Each student is doing their own research project using a component of the All of Us Research Hub. So that's either the data browser or the workbench. And so for that, students are kind of working with their mentor to do a project. There's kind of a network of peers. We provide professional development and research curriculum for the cohort for both mentors and students. What the students are supposed to be working towards is creating a poster and conducting an oral presentation based off of their poster and their oral presentation scores. They have the opportunity to then present their findings at the annual All of Us Researchers Convention, which takes place in the spring. So I want to provide kind of an overview of what the 2023 programming looked like. So this is the cohort of students and mentors who started at the end of September, early October of last year. They completed their projects and submitted them in early February. Several students presented at the 2023 Researchers Convention at the end of March. And then we're actually planning and hope to host in the next few weeks an alumni event, which I'll also speak to in a little bit. So the 2023 cohort consisted of 50 scholars and 25 mentors. Where students could either use the data browser or the workbench to conduct their project. We offered several events, which included professional development series such as grant writing. We also had a mental health and well-being session close to the fall semester exam time, so in early December, which I think was timely for a lot of the students and mentors to just kind of have a break and a check-in as they're preparing for exams and also while working on their projects. We also had several research-related support sessions. Several of these sessions included working with the Data Research Center. So this is the team that has everything on the Research Hub. They are the experts when it comes to how to use the data, how to navigate the data browser, the workbench, and fully understanding the capabilities of the research. So we had several sessions with them for the students and mentors to onboard them to the work. We also had other research-related curriculums such as research ethics. We hosted media training, and we even had an R workshop that we hosted with a smaller group of the students, which is important to note because the data on the workbench, which is where you have to go through additional steps to get access, and your institution will need a data use agreement for their faculty and students to get such access. For those in the workbench, R and Python are currently the only two data analysis tools. So this is something where we've heard from a lot of people, especially the students, that they're not quite yet experienced in using R and Python. So we were able to provide an R workshop for them this year, which was super exciting. And we also had several mentor support sessions. Again, just some cohort numbers. We actually ended up taking 51 scholars and 26 mentors this year. You'll see that for the scholars, we even had 2 high school students, which I'll touch on in a little bit as well. And you can also see the breakdown for our mentors and their areas of expertise. We also have several cohort demographics that we're able to capture for the scholars and the mentors, just showcasing the diversity of the scholars. We like to, for the Research Scholar Program, we like to promote those that are underrepresented in the biomedical workforce. And so this is just a breakdown of those numbers. We also had multiple institutions and organizations represented with just this cohort. So we had 48 different institutions and organizations. Of those 48, we had 3 historically Black colleges and universities, 2 Hispanic serving institutions, and 4 other minority serving institutions represented across the cohort. And then I kind of want to provide a deeper dive into what some of our events looked like. So the very first event that we kick off with the cohort once they're accepted is the Mentor and Scholar Match Day. The screenshot here kind of shows where we held part of that event. So this is a platform called Kumo Space, where you actually get to kind of navigate around the space. This was kind of our speed networking that we had, where we had the cohort meet, the mentors and scholars meet for the first time in a virtual setting. I do want to take a step back and just note that everything about the Research Scholar Program is virtual. There is no in-person component for now. It is all virtual, so it is open to all. Again, we did have some research curriculum events, such as that R training and those sessions with the Data Research Center, so students and mentors could get familiar with the data, as well as professional development. And we also have additional support events, such as general office hours, as well as we had graded oral presentations for the students after they've completed their posters. Something new that we've started to roll out is the alumni network. So what you'll see here is that we have the Minority Student Research Symposium, which is actually where all of this started. Back in 2021, what was then known as the Minority Student Research Symposium, where we had another community partner, the Black Greek Letter Consortium, and the Southern Network, working with the University of Alabama, had students and mentors using the public data browser to do a research project and then to present at the symposium. Since then, it's expanded to what is now the Research Scholar Program. So we had the first cohort of that in 2022. Our most recent cohort is the 2023 cohort, and all 3 of these cohorts get to participate in what is the alumni network. So we have a total of 75 scholars and 48 mentors that fall into that network. We have returning mentors, we have scholars who have returned, and we've even had former scholars become mentors who are a part of this alumni network. And as a part of that, we host alumni events. We're hosting our June event in a few weeks, and we also add people to our alumni newsletter where we provide updates, resources about other research opportunities, job opportunities, and updates about research on all of us. I also just wanted to share some impact that those programs had with some of the scholars. So one of our scholars, Atia, who participated in the first year of the Minority Student Research Symposium, has gone on and participated in so many other events with all of us, including having an All of Us Voices, working with the NIH communications team. She also supported what is the Macon County event, which was held in Macon County, Mississippi. And so that was a big event that she got to participate in. Adriana Marys, who's a former student, is now a participant ambassador for the All of Us Research Program and sits on our Research Scholar Program Advisory Committee. Jessica Tren is a part of Asian Health Coalitions, who is also a community partner a national community partner working with the All of Us Research Program. She also sits on our planning committee. And then Ashley, who is a former RSP student, was a mentor for our 2023 cohort and was the mentor for our 2 high school students. Ashley also incorporated all of us into her capstone project for her master's capstone, which she actually presented on back in March and will be graduating. So that is exciting to see as well. So as I mentioned before, there were some high school students. So originally this program started with just undergraduate, graduate, professional, so PhD, dental, and as well as medical school students. For the 2022 cohort, we were reached out to by a scholar asking us if her high school sister could participate in the program. She had some research experience, was interested in doing a research project. We said sure, because we knew the All of Us Research Program was looking to have high school students involved in some capacity in the research. And so she joined the program, and they actually ended up winning the undergraduate category for her research project, which was super cool, since that's where we kind of lump them. When we do kind of the grading, we break it up by undergraduate, graduate, professional, and medical school students. And then this 2023 cohort, we had 2 high school students. One of those high school students actually also ended up winning the undergraduate category. And so that was super exciting to see. So we're looking to have about 3 to 5 slots of our cohort in 2024 specifically set aside for high school students. So if you happen to have high school students or high school teachers or high school counselors who might be interested in learning more about this program, please feel free to reach out to me, as we're still kind of looking on how we can support high school students as they're kind of at a different level. They're in school all day, might need additional support to help them with this research project as compared to, say, a graduate student. So if there's anybody you know that would be interested, please feel free to reach out, and would be happy to have a conversation there. And now I kind of want to move on to what the 2024 cohort will look like. So applications for the 2024 program will open in early August. The length of the program will go from early October to April, with the research projects due in late January. The scholars will again do their independent research project. They'll have a poster and an oral presentation. We do provide a stipend for the students, and that is $500. For the mentors, it'll be supporting 2 scholars, and their stipend is $1,200, $600 for each student that they support. And what I'll do is I'll also drop into the chat this interest form. We have a flyer that can be shared out. The programming will be about the same, where we'll continue to provide those professional development events, that research curriculum to support the students. We provide all of those opportunities and continue to also have them do their poster and oral presentations. There'll be the opportunity to potentially present at the All of Us Researchers Convention. And so I don't have too many details on what the applications are going to look like or when exactly they will be updated, as well as the requirements. Those are still being updated at this moment, but as soon as I have those, I will be sure to share them with Rachel and team so they can help disperse that information once we have that ready to go. And with that, I believe that is my last slide. Yep. Are there any questions I could help answer about the Scholar program or the Research Hub in general?
All right. Thank you so much, Meredith. That was a lot of really great information. We have been recording this webinar, so we will be able to send out the recording afterwards. Corey.
Hi, I had a question about what makes a good applicant for both the student scholar and the mentor.
That is a great question. So one of the things we do typically include in the application, and I don't think it'll be changing, will be some sort of kind of like short answer essay kind of like question to kind of just understand what the scholar and or mentor is like. Why are they interested in using the All of Us research program to conduct a research project? Because All of Us, has is a diverse data set. So there is a lot of diverse data for researchers to use. And so that's kind of what we are trying to understand from those essay questions, is why they want to use it. What impact could this have on a specific community, the community that they're from? Those are key things we look at. I will note that you don't have to know about All of Us to apply. You don't have to have access to the workbench to be a mentor or a scholar. We do ask those questions because that helps us in the pairing process later on. I will also mention that mentors and scholars are able to come as a pair. Both have to apply, and then they can just note on their application that they want to be paired together. And so what really happens is we have those essay questions, just kind of understanding where people are at research level, if people have experience doing data analysis or not. But it's really those essay questions that we have. We do share that with the advisory committee. The advisory committee reviews all of the applications and makes those decisions based off of the groupings of their responses to those application questions. And so those are some of the key things they're looking for, is kind of those answers. And then after people have been accepted, we kind of go through a different pairing process based off of the applications. And so that's also looking at research interest, research skill. If we have, say, a mentor who's maybe a graduate student, we might pair them with an undergraduate or high school student to do a research project instead of with, say, a PhD student who might who might be looking to have a mentor who's, a more established researcher. So those are other things we kind of look at when it comes to the pairing process. A great question. And that's some of the stuff that as we continue to build out the requirements, as well as the application, will also kind of expand more on what we're looking for with the scholars and the mentors. Any other questions?
And Meredith, I mean, I know this, but I think it's a great question to be raised. Do you have to be familiar with R or Python or any kind of statistical analysis software to enroll in the RSP?
No, that's a great question. You don't have to be familiar. We do ask if you are familiar. That does not exclude you from being accepted. That is just for us on the back end for you. If you do get accepted, say you are familiar with R, Python, you are super interested in getting access to the workbench, we're going to pair you with a mentor who is familiar, also has access to the workbench and can help you with that. If say you have access to the workbench but don't know how to use R, but we have a mentor who does have access and knows how to do that kind of statistical analysis piece, we'll pair you with them. So we do ask those questions in the application. We do note in the application that it is not criteria that is going to exclude you from getting accepted. We just want to understand where people are, so we can make sure that they're paired with a mentor that can help support them where they are in their research kind of skills.
Awesome. Thank you so
And
much.
same for the mentor, I will say, is that the mentor doesn't have to have that experience, but that will just kind of adjust with who they are kind of paired with.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. If there aren't any other questions, we will be sending this recording out to all attendees after. And so if there are any questions, Meredith has dropped her email in the chat. I am also dropping my email in the chat. You can feel free to also reach out through AHEC Western Washington, who brought us this webinar today. Thank you so much for the Area Health Education Center of Western Washington at Whatcom Community College, who is one of our community and provider gateway initiative partners. Barry.
Yes, quick question. This is
please.
All right, great presentation, Ms. Wilson. My question is more about the mentors. You had mentioned that you don't have to be trained in everything, but are there situations for your mentors where they don't have current research, but they have knowledge or background in certain areas that they can actually contribute?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will kind of just provide an example. A lot of our students are interested in social determinants of health. We've had mentors who aren't actively, doing a research project. The goal of this is to have the student do their own research project, so they don't have to fully align with what somebody else is already doing their research on. We would actually prefer that they come up with their own research question. They're doing their own project. So if you're not doing research, but have kind of background in a certain topic or area, by all means, like that's something we're super interested in. We have students who have done research projects on things about that focus more on health literacy, all the way up to COVID implications, access to food. There's a lot of different topics the students are interested in, so it's not limited by topic or if you're doing a research project yourself.
Okay, thank you for that, because I have a clinical neurovirology background, and that's why I was curious. I'm currently not doing any research, but this might be something that I might want to tap into a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely. We have medical students who participate in the program who also are kind of more on that clinical path, but are interested in the research piece of it. So they're also, kind of getting more into that kind of component of it. So yeah, don't have to have an active research project, just have some kind of research experience to some extent of, what that might look like in terms of developing a research question and kind of those basics.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. I will also add that say this program sounds something super interesting to you, but maybe you're not looking to be a mentor or scholar right away. We do have all of those different professional development events and research curriculum related events. So if that's something you would also be interested in being a speaker for one of those events, please also feel free to reach out to me. We would love to have anyone come and speak at those. I will note that that's something we are going to start building out soon. So we like to kind of have those dates and times set ahead of time, just so the scholars and mentors can be prepared for when those events are. So reaching out sooner rather than later would be appreciated. But if that's something you're also interested in, just let me know. And those kind of events can kind of vary on topic if there's something that you're super interested in. So for example, if you're more on the clinical side and want to kind of just talk about what that looks like as a clinical professional, just so our students can kind of have an understanding, maybe if that's something they're interested in doing and you want to come share on that, that's also an opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Meredith, for coming and giving such a wonderful presentation. Thank you to AHEC Western Washington for having us. And thank you to our attendees and those individuals who will be watching this recording. Meredith and my emails have been dropped in the chat, so please do feel free to reach out to us with any additional questions, comments, or concerns that you may have. And please have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.